People try to discourage us from eating Hot Pockets on the go.
You look like a fool with those buns. Nurse!
But as free eaters, we're here to stay.
New Hot Pocket Side Shots cheeseburgers, soft baked buns of awesomeness you can eat wherever. Eat freely.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2010 Major League Gaming Pro Circuit here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We are into the tournament already. We've completed all the round one games. We're going to be doing some losers bracket action shortly here, but that was very impressive play by both players in the previous round.
Yeah, really. I love tournaments like this where you have amateurs that can come in, pretty much a no-namer, comes in and does well against a sponsored player, a player like Silver nonetheless. I love the fact, I love rooting for the underdog, and I think a lot of people do. So really, that's what MLG is really all about when it boils down to it. We're always about having as many players as possible there and having the underdog and the amateurs in, thrown in with the pros.
Yeah, because there's been so many invite tournaments that's been out there, and we've all seen the little one play, we've all seen Idra play. Ugh, how unlucky we are to see them play so much, but still, from a player's perspective, it's nice to get the chance to jump in. And now at MLG, we open registration. Got to see El Paramedico. I don't even recognize that name, but again, he had great play and beautiful, beautiful hands. In that series. Yes, he has great control, and that's hard to do. What do you want me to say? He had beautiful eyes. But again, those were good too. He was really good at watching the mini-map, which is another very difficult technique to master, especially at a tournament. When you have that much adrenaline, you get tunnel vision. It's hard to keep focused on the scope of the game.
All right, so let's talk about some of those communities out there that are probably going to be watching right now. So first off, Team Liquid. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt right now. Sean's wearing a sponsor.
I own a shirt.
We love
Dr.
Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, of course, I'm not Dr. PP. Yeah, that's right. Dr. Pause, please. And, of course, for Reddit, I'm going to give a big heart to Reddit.
Definitely.
I love Reddit. I lurk there. I should probably be more active about posting. But, of course, Reddit, we love them because they're big supporters of the competitive gaming scene. There's a thread there that was created by Slasher. Reply to him, vote it up, do this to it because we want it to the front page of the known universe. And then, of course,
MLG Pro. I mean, we got to think about our home site there at MLGpro.com.
Tournament.
Yeah, we love everyone from all those fan sites, and really, a lot of the people at MLG Pro were kind of they weren't ready for the community from StarCraft.
Yeah,
they didn't know
so
that
nice.
Much. Yeah,
the StarCraft community is so warm. There's like no trash talk. Everyone's been shaking hands. And, speaking of situations where there's some potential rage coming up, In Control paired against Machine first round.
Yeah. I mean, In Control did win that 2-0, and Machine is going to be fighting for his life right now in losers round one. I do believe he's playing against Damodar. So
yeah.
Can't be biased, but I think Machine has that one.
Yeah, I think Machine is the strongest person in the losers bracket coming up right now. So he will have the advantage, continue to cruise forward, but that's a big hurdle to get over. Going to losers bracket immediately, and then you have to win about 9 times as many games as everyone else. I mean, for instance, all the people who are in the winners bracket right now get a break. They don't have to play for a period of time because we're doing all the losers bracket games. They get a chance to stand up, sort of relax. But those losers bracket folks, like Machine, have a grueling, day and tomorrow ahead of them.
I can't believe that we have 3 more hours of casting tonight.
Oh, is that all? Oh, I'm so disappointed. Because, I mean, really, we haven't gotten the chance to see that many games. Honestly, when I'm not up here casting, I am out there watching the game. I mean, I spent a little time eating macaroni and cheese, but
it's pretty good.
I always carb load before casting.
Yeah, so we are only about an hour or so in right now. Finished round one. We'll be looking at losers round 2 here. Looks like we are going to be getting a game sometime soon.
Yeah, all those players need to reset up to make sure, that there aren't 2 players playing directly next to one another. As fun as that is, to screen hack, of course, there are stipulations against that. Right,
so we're really not sure who we're going to be casting. I think we're going to be looking at SeleCT playing against Miller for Prez is who we want to be casting.
What's good news probably for a lot of the fanboys out there is that I think pretty much every solid player in this tournament did win their first round game. I know QXC went 2-0, Huck went 2-0 earlier in the day. So they are continuing to advance through. In Control went 2-0 against Machine. But I'm trying to think, what are some other notable results that have been going on at this tournament?
Well, we did have Noni, of course, beat the one that we cast the first match here at MLG Raleigh. We had him beating Jetty, as I somehow remember that name.
That was very close. That was very
close. Definitely remember him. We got so many. I mean, really, I was super surprised at the amount of Root Gaming members here.
Yeah,
there is about 30,000 Root members here
at
in
this
attendance.
64-person tournament. I mean, there was Drooby there. There was Katz that we saw at dinner last night. Pain User's not part of Root, but he was at dinner last night, and I'm pretty certain that he advanced through his group. Who else was from Root who was here?
Kiwikaki.
Kiwikaki was here.
I'm pretty sure he advanced. I'm pretty sure he advanced.
And that's a player who I really want to
see. For sure.
He doesn't really get as much publicity as he deserves. I mean, all those tip-top Protosses in Europe. You know, we also have players like Huck as well. You know, a lot of publicity. There's a lot of events. But again, Kiwikaki's a little bit tourney shy. He likes to ladder. He likes to practice. And I don't blame him because really, there, I think, are too many players who get a little tournament happy. I know, for instance, Little One was invited to every tournament that has ever existed in StarCraft 2, pretty much. And he played all of them.
Every single one, yeah.
Even with me, I was like, do you want to come on my daily? It'll be on at 4:30 a.m. your time. He was like, yeah, sure, that sounds really good. That's a German accent. Sorry, Little One is actually from everywhere. But, like, it's that sort of thing that causes your skill to atrophy. And we noticed that he had significant plunges in his skill level for a period of time. He definitely ramped it back up recently, but I mean, that's really tough to do. So I definitely think that Kiwikaki might be the most prepared player for this tournament, as he hasn't had to do really any traveling or flying or rescheduling issues.
Yeah, now we also do have, I'm pretty sure Inca advanced from EG, LZ Gamer, fairly certain he advanced. And of course, we know about In Control Machine.
Machine, the one EG player that didn't advance. But that's unfortunate, though, because he really doesn't deserve to go far. I mean, he's the sort of player who just defies what people think should happen to Zerg, which is that they lose to Reapers in 5 minutes, or even to the Zealot pressure we see. I mean, people don't talk about how difficult Zerg versus Protoss is at the outset, to have to deal with like the Zealot pressure, and then even if there isn't any Zealot pressure, there's like the Warp Gate pressure that comes off right off the bat. I mean, like Jetty versus Noni is a great example of that. The 3 Warp Gate push that was meant to swing a little advantage killed Jetty because the force fields kept getting to the ramp, and Jetty wanted to like rip his whole head off because that is so hard to deal with. All the Zerglings were just over there just like grinding against each other, and they couldn't get down the friggin' ramp. And at the end of the day, even if this attack didn't work, there's an expansion down for Noni. I mean, it's really difficult to do, but Machine time and again figures out a way to just solve that early game.
And we also do have the players from Fnatic, Greytorp and TT1.
Oh, yeah.
They both advanced. Greytorp, he's one of those characters in the StarCraft 2 community. You see him casting a lot. And if you've ever watched this stream, you know about Greytorp's personality.
He loves bopping clowns.
Yeah.
It's his favorite pastime. Now, of course, I do have to tell a little bit of a story. As I rearrange my mic cord that is increasingly knocking everything off the table.
Yes, but the story, Sean, continue, please.
As the legend goes, so we were casting the Europe versus Asia show match series match, which happens at 5 in the morning. I don't know why I agreed to this.
Why would you do that?
Well, because this guy, Marco from Gosu Gamers, approaches me, and I like Gosu Gamers. You know, I read their site really regularly because they have really regular news updates. It's great. And he just said, hey, you want to cast this big event for Gosu Gamers? And it was in the early beta days when it was hard to get Asia and really anyone to play together. The Asia servers were probably the most insular of all the communities because a lot of the Europeans and the Americans communicate quite a bit, and we're doing cross-server play. But this was the first chance to have Asia against Europe. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And he said, the only problem is that it's 5 a.m. Saturday and Sunday for 4 weeks. And I was like, totally, that sounds great. Because I'm an idiot. But Greytorp was casting with me, and I was pumped about that because, like you said, he has a great stream and everything. So I'm like up there, I'm like 6 in the morning, like my eyes are like blood red. I'm like trying to call Greytorp, I'm like trying to balance our audio levels. It basically means he's at like I'm at 20% and he's at like maximum because I like scream and salivate all over the microphone. Like right now, and we're like about to go into, I think it was like series 2. We did about 2 or 3 best of 5s a day, and he's just not there. Right? I have no idea where he is. He's completely gone. And when I'm like on there, like trying to like vamp. I'm like, all right, well, it appears Greytorp is going to step out for a moment. Oh, solo casting. So like an hour and a half of solo casting, my throat's burning. I'm like trying to down green tea. I'm like drinking honey at this point because my throat's so sore. And then he gets back. I'm like, Greytorp, where were you? And he's like, parents made biscuits and gravy, man. You know I can't say no to that. And I was like, but
well, you can't say no to that. I mean,
we're in a cast. Yeah, we can't say no to that as long as you have a co-caster who can solo cast. That's the one. That's
the one stipulation. Yeah, for sure.
That's the one little minor thing. So that's what we call level 2 funny. It was not funny at the time, but now it's really funny, and it's an endearing story. And yeah, so I'm delighted to see that he's advanced through the tournament. Yeah, so I mean, one thing though, Greetorp does have really amazing mechanics.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of those players. I mean, if you listen to his stream, he talks about how strong his mechanics
while he
are.
plays. Every time I talk, I build like 2 Overlords on 10. Like I can't do it, but he just always is constantly. He's like making fun of the player and himself, and he's like tip top, like 2200 Terran player.
I do remember a story that you told me once about your yesteryear of the StarCraft 1 world, where you were at a tournament.
Way back when I was a little girl.
And I think you built 2 Hydralisk dens. Is this correct? Was that you? Or am I just
completely
off base?
No, it doesn't sound like me. I mean, I've actually one-hatch lurker rushed someone and built 3 Hydralisk dens before, and that was...
Oh, okay, so you won up the 2 Hydralisk
That was one of the
build order.
lesser good days of my life. Coming up. I just want to give you a brief update on the current status of the tournament. We're going on to the losers bracket.
Because like you said, he has a great stream and everything. So I'm like up there, I'm like 6 in the
You can see the players out here behind all the paparazzi, who of course swarming everyone. They're getting themselves set up.
Because like you said, he has a great stream and everything. So I'm like up there, I'm like 6
playing next to each other. So until then, it's apparently day 9 and JP story time.
Indeed, story time. Well, actually, let's pay those bills. So we do have MLG HD available for $10. You can see StarCraft 2 and Halo 3 and WoW and Tekken 6.
Indeed,
so much
JP.
So much content here for $10. You can see the entire weekend in HD, and you can watch that stuff on a plasma TV. So really, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And you can rewind. I'm crazy with the ants today.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's great about the rewind ability is that, I mean, for instance, like right now in between matches, it's a good chance to bounce back and check out those games. Because, I mean, for instance, Silver versus El Paramedico, that game was awesome.
Yeah,
Silver should have lost like twice.
Yeah,
but he stayed alive both times and then came back to win the game. And that's one thing that I think I'm most impressed with about Silver's play is that he just
completely
doesn't sound like
base.
me. I mean, I've actually one-hatch lurker
because
that's I think a hallmark of an expert player is that they don't like crumble under pressure. They're my build. I can't do my build anymore.
I would have lost right off the bat in that game, but he actually stuck through it and won. I mean, that was so much harassment.
Great decision making
from the Protoss
The
player.
one thing that blows my mind is how Silver came back after he lost the barracks that had stim.
It's about 90% done. It just dies. He's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like he got combat shield before stim, so he had a bunch of healthy Marines that were slow. Then he let his refinery burn out twice, this many times. And I mean, like, and still came back. And with good decision making, great solid unit composition. That's always the most amazing thing, because we talked a little bit about that before we started observing all the games. The idea, it's about the order in which you get things. That's what Silver was doing. It's that order, the fact that he was getting just the right amount of Marines and he was getting tanks to kind of push everything out. And when all was said and done, he had just the right mix for your usual mid-game push.
Yeah, I mean, really
beautiful, beautiful transitioning.
And he had great control too. I mean, he wasn't like he wasn't bent out of shape because of all that early harassment. He had great control with those Marines. I mean, he was moving them, stemming them behind the tanks, making sure the tanks took a lot of those attacks from the Stalkers. And Silver just proving that Complexity did make the right decision. I mean, he is a brand new sponsor. That was about a week ago, I think, when Complexity actually picked him up. And this is his first tournament ever. And he's doing pretty well right now. I mean, that was definitely not an easy game.
Now, that is really impressive since it's his first tournament ever. Because when Noni played well, I didn't care. Right? Who cares? Noni always plays well because he's been at these tournaments forever, and he has the chance to know what it feels like to freak out and to just stave that off. But already it's freaky to play in a live tournament, and then it's really freaky to like almost be losing for like 5 minutes the way Silver did. So just pulled through marvelously. So I'm quite impressed by that.
Yeah. So I mean, I got a joke for you, Sean. You ready for this joke?
Hold on, I'm ready.
All right. What did the SCV say to the other SCV to scare him?
What did he say, JP?
Supplies!
Ladies and gentlemen, top-notch entertainment at the 2010 Major League Gaming Pro Circuit here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I wonder if I have any good StarCraft 2 jokes.
Well, hopefully they're better than the last one.
Well, I don't know. I think there's exactly like 3.
3 jokes
I love
total?
those, Yo Mama's so fat, all 3 Mutalist bounces hit Yo Mama, like one of those things. There's a great thread about that on Team Liquid. If you want, I can repeat all of them, or you can just go there and, giggle silently at your computer. Which, again, I don't know if you have this tendency. Anytime I find something mildly amusing, I just type LOL, but my face is just, I'm like, Ha 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 ha.
So
like,
when do you actually laugh when you type L? Is it like ROFL? Is that when you're
I
like,
laugh
oh
when
my
I
god?
rewatch my own dailies. I'm like, oh, I'm so funny. I giggle at myself. Which, by the way, since we're